Hi everyone, it's Miss O. We're going to talk about the law of demand. Law and demand is really important in our economy in the United States because we have a free market society. What does that mean? It means that the government kind of stands back and for the most part lets the economy run itself. How does it run itself? It runs itself through supply and demand. If you are willing and able to buy a coffee every morning for $5, guess what? Someone's going to be there to supply that coffee for you. And that's how the market runs. If there's a need and a want or a desire, then the market will satisfy that with supplying it. Just as a reminder of what the market is where people buy and sell. And there's two sides to the market. There's the buying side, which we're going to discuss today, which is the demand side. And then the selling side will be the supply side to satisfy those demands. Demand is the willingness and ability of buyers to purchase an item during a specific time period. So, this means that demand isn't just simply wanting something, right? True demand is wanting something, the willingness to obtain that something, but also the ability to get that something as well. So, a lot of people wouldn't mind driving a Rolls Royce. That would be really cool, right? Luxury at the wheels, perfect. But the problem is, most people don't have the ability to purchase a Rolls Royce. So, therefore, they don't have true demand of the Rolls Royce. Demand has to have willingness and ability. You have to have the resources enabled to obtain that good or service. So, that is true demand. So, what is law of demand? Law of demand shows us what the relationship is between price and quantity demanded. If you look here on the chart, price is here on the y-axis and quantity demanded is on the x-axis, and demand is going down in blue. And what the law of demand states is that as price rises, quantity is low. So just like the Rolls Royce, that Rolls Royce is super expensive. It could be $100,000 or more for a car, and therefore the quantity demanded will stay low. But if the price of that Rolls Royce decreases, let's say now they're selling that car for 50,000, then more demand will happen and demand will increase. So law of demand states that when the price of a product goes up, the quantity demanded will go down. We say that price and quantity demanded have an inverse relationship. That just means that they are opposite to each other. And we see that here in the slope of the demand curve. So again, here's the chart for the demand curve here. The demand is in red and it's going down. The demand curve, it will always slope down because price and quantity demanded are inversely related, meaning they have an opposite relationship. So therefore, it does go down. Determinants of demand. What causes demand to change? What causes demand to go up or to go down? And the first thing is income. So income plays a huge part. As people make more money, their demand changes, right? If I was a starving student in college and could barely even afford my rent, but now I've paid off my student loans, I'm now a surgeon, my demand in society has changed. Now I'm actually in the buying for a Rolls Royce. I have true ability to purchase that Rolls Royce or at least to finance it out. So that changes demand. And it happens the other way too. If I lose my job that was paying me a lot of money, now my demand will decrease for items because I just don't have that buying power anymore. Buyer preference, what's popular or what's not popular, what's cool or what's not cool. If there's a new show on Netflix, maybe now the demand for Netflix will increase because everyone hears all this news about this new show. If the show turns out not to be very good, then maybe the popularity of that will decrease and people will get off of that streaming platform. So again, what's popular, what's not is buyer preference. Prices of related goods. If the price of peanuts go up because peanuts are hard to grow now in certain states, now a jar of peanut butter is $20. Well, now jelly might not sell as much, right? Because the price of peanut butter went up and they're kind of related. We all think of peanut butter, we think of jelly going together. And maybe that's why a lot of people buy those two items together. So if the price of peanut butter goes up, then the demand for jelly may go down, even if the price doesn't change. Number of buyers in the market. The more people you have in the market to buy goods and services, the demand will change and go up. Future prices and expectations. This is just like stocks. People purchase stocks or sell stocks depending on how they perceive the future to be with that industry or business. And the same thing with demand of items and goods. You might want to buy a house now because you predict that prices will go up. You might want to wait and buy a house because you might think in the future those houses will be cheaper and interest rates will be lower. So how you perceive the future determines how demand is today on items. And that is law of demand, which is part of how our economy runs in a free market society. And stay tuned and I'll go over the law of supply.